Now from Atlanta News First Plus, this is Sports Tonight.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to Sports Tonight. Everyone's all excited. You can hear all the noise behind me. Everybody's all jacked up. We have so much sports to talk about. I'm sports producer Scott Pennyman here with, go for it,
Ellie Parker.
Ellie, I always smile every time we get a chance to do
This is
Sports
fun.
Tonight, because I feel like when me and you do Sports Tonight together, there's just always so many compelling topics to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's just coincidence, but it just seems that way.
Yeah, especially tonight.
Yeah, I mean, when you start talking about the NBA, I mean, that's
Because the Lakers just, the finals are starting tonight. But no, the Lakers just had to make it about themselves.
Don't you just get the feeling that the Lakers do this like routinely?
Every time.
It's just the Lakers and LeBron, they just know how to I'm not going to blame LeBron for this one because this isn't so much about LeBron. But the Lakers seem to have an uncanny way of being able to upstage anything the NBA is trying to do. So on the day the NBA Finals begin, breaking news this morning, I'm watching all of the outlets, ESPN, all of the social media outlets and everything, and they're talking about the Lakers, which was kind of news to everybody because I think this week alone, that pretty much everyone just expected that J.J. Redick was next up to be the Lakers head coach. That was the only name we were hearing, right?
It was the fait accompli.
Right, that was it. It was going to be J.J. Redick. He was the guy. We were just probably days away from some sort of announcement. That's what I thought as of yesterday. But then,
Then,
in true
Waj comes out this morning. The Lakers are apparently pursuing UConn head coach Dan Hurley.
I don't know what to even think about that, Ellie. Like, seriously. Like,
Why would he? Is the first question.
Well, look, I asked myself that same question this morning. I asked myself, why would Dan Hurley, who's won back-to-back national championships at UConn, seemingly may even be the next Mike Krzyzewski, right? I mean, just based on what he's been able to do at UConn so far, he's kind of filling that new best coach in college basketball void.
Yeah.
And so he has an amazing thing going at UConn. So, yeah, I mean, the first thing I thought was, why would he want to go interrupt his life by going coaching the L.A. Lakers, which we all understand, just being an NBA coach in general, you just sort of seem like a figurehead who's out there.
Yes.
Maybe, not even, not nearly as relevant as the star players. And to me, that's the biggest difference between going from college to the pros. And at UConn, Dan Hurley is the program.
Yes.
He's the name of the program. No one is more important in that UConn program than Dan Hurley. You go to the Lakers, there may be 3 or 4 people in that organization. 2 of them are players that are seen as more important than Dan Hurley, which is LeBron James.
And if those players complain about you after one season, however many, half a season we saw in Milwaukee.
Yeah, he'll be gone.
He'll be gone.
Right. And so I don't understand. I've always said if you have a quality college basketball or college football job, stick with that because when you go to that next level, you instantly, certainly in the NBA, you instantly don't mean as much. And I'll give you some quick examples. Look at Billy Donovan. Look what Billy Donovan had going on at the University of Florida, back-to-back national championships. He was the man. He was probably that next up to be the next Mike Krzyzewski. Since he got to the NBA, he went to OKC. Kind of, did a decent job there, and now he's in Chicago where things are he just kind of just blah. He kind of
tell me about it.
Yeah, he's just kind of reduced himself to being just kind of a blah NBA coach. And so when you think about that, I'm like, that's kind of when you think about Danny Hurley. I mean, imagine the first time he gets out there with the Lakers, him and LeBron James have some sort of words or whatever like that, and he's instantly gonna feel have his power cut off at the knees because, once again, LeBron James is the man out there. Anthony Davis is the man out in L.A. It won't be Danny Hurley. So, to me, you're talking about going from being the most important part of a basketball organization at UConn to really having your role reduced to just kind of just being – I don't want to say he'd be meaningless with the Lakers, but he won't be anywhere near the most important person in that organization. So there must be a significant amount of cash being transferred over in his bank account for him to even be thinking about this.
Sorry, the words Billy Donovan have me feel some type of way as
you kind
a
of
Bulls
zoned
fan.
out after I mentioned Billy Donovan, huh? Well, no, but just think of what Billy Donovan was. Billy Donovan was Danny Hurley. before Danny Hurley. He won a couple national championships at the school, won back-to-back. And there wasn't a bigger name in college basketball than Billy Donovan. Billy Donovan goes to Oklahoma City.
And wasn't he the Thunder coach for Harden, Westbrook?
Oh, that
Durant?
was Scott Brooks. It was Scott Brooks for that, if I'm not mistaken. And then I believe the year Durant takes off, or maybe it was like somewhere in there, like the last year or so of last couple of years. I don't know if he was with KD or right at the very end. Maybe you can take a look at that real quick. But anyway, he gets to OKC, and instantly his worth and his value as a coach drops because, once again, the NBA is a players' league. Make no mistake about it. The NBA is about the players, period. It's not a coach's league. I mean, unless you've developed that sort of respect over time, like a Greg Popovich or Eric Spoelstra, unless you're that kind of coach, you're not going to have that same respect level that you had in the college game. I mean, your name doesn't carry the same weight. We've seen that time and time again. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have like a Larry Brown or a guy like that who may come from the college game and have some success, but those examples are so few and far between. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. Dude's a god in Connecticut. Dude is, like you said, could be the next Coach K. Could be that guy. That face of college basketball type of guy.
But this is so Lakers because 20 years ago, okay, for people who may not remember that, the Lakers took a shot at getting Coach K from Duke. Mike Krzyzewski was very obviously the most highly respected coach maybe ever in college basketball. Kobe Bryant was a huge fan. Kobe Bryant, when they were getting rid of Phil Jackson and Kobe was they were trying to do everything they could to please Kobe Bryant. Kobe wanted Coach K from Duke, and Coach K declined. I feel like if Dan Hurley is, I don't want to say the man's not smart. He knows way more about basketball and probably life than a lot of us. But I think the best thing for his future, in my opinion, would be to stay at UConn. And look, I know a lot of these college coaches are also getting frustrated too, right? With NIL and everything they're dealing with that, it's not as comfortable as it once was. But if you think NIL is uncomfortable, imagine dealing with those guys on an NBA bench who aren't getting playing time.
Yeah.
And they're mad at you. So basically in the NBA, it's been described to me before, when you're a coach in the NBA, you have 5 or 6 players that may like you. And then you have 5 or 6 guys that feel like you're blocking their future at earning more and more millions because they're not getting a lot of playing time. So those guys hate you. That's part of what you deal with as an NBA coach. So do you really want to deal with that? Like, do you really want to deal with those things as an NBA head coach where in UConn, like you said, you're a god. Everybody loves you there. You won back-to-back national championships. Is that something that you really want to leave? I don't know. Maybe he's just angling this to get the kind of money that he wants out of UConn. A lot of coaches will use maybe that other look. Leverage is great, right? So if you have the Lakers out there dangling that great opportunity, maybe that'll get you more money out of UConn. Maybe that's what we're seeing here.
And like basketball, both men's and women's, sports-wise, that's all UConn's got. That's where they hang their hat. Basketball. They're gonna go all out to keep a guy like Dan Hurley.
Yeah. Well, even look, I mean, so the Lakers are trying to get a path, and I think what the Lakers are trying to do, they're trying to forge their path moving forward, even beyond LeBron James, right? So, JJ Redick would probably be a 100% LeBron hire for right now for what they're trying to do. Getting Dan Hurley is more so of a long-term thing.
Yeah.
So, by the way, we have the NBA Finals, too.
By the way, the Lakers are not the only team in the NBA. They're not even in the finals.
They barely made the playoffs, right?
Barely made the playoffs.
Barely, right? So, when you think about your finals predictions, who do you got?
Mavs in 6.
Okay, so I'm going Celtics in 7. I'm going Celtics in 7, mainly because that's been my pick the entire season. From the second this NBA season started, I had the Celtics winning the NBA championship, even if Denver was around. I thought they were going to beat Denver in 7 in the finals, but Denver obviously isn't in the finals. It's the Dallas Mavericks. So I'm picking the Boston Celtics to win in 7. I just feel like it's their time. I feel like it's Tatum's and Brown's time. They've been at this for some years now. And I think they finally got to the point where they're ready to be champions.
This finals gives me such an odd feeling because it feels like it's both teams' time.
Yes.
And only one of them can win.
Yeah.
Like, one of these teams is the team of destiny, and we're going to find out over the next couple of games which it is.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think when you look at both these teams, I mean, they both obviously have two-headed monsters, just two star players leading the way. I do think Dallas star players and Luka and Kyrie do play a little better together. And I say that because I think they play off each other well, whereas Tatum and Brown are kind of, they kind of do their own thing, but they each do their own thing well, so when it comes together, it looks well, right? So
for me, I would put it, Dallas has higher highs and lower lows. Boston is a more consistent roster.
Right.
I just have this feeling that Luka and Kyrie are going to go off.
Yeah, I mean,
this is going to be I just have this weird feeling this is going to be like a legacy-defining series in a good way for Luka and Kyrie. Like I have this feeling they're about to go beast mode.
Okay, look,
they're going to take this over.
I can see that. Look, when you look at what they've played like up to this point in the playoffs, I can definitely see those get. Look, if Dallas wins this series, I won't be surprised, right? I'm just going with Boston because Boston has been my pick since the NBA season began. But if Dallas wins this series, look, we've seen Kyrie perform at this level before like no other. We've seen Kyrie go off in the NBA Finals. I covered those NBA Finals in Cleveland when Kyrie Irving hit the game-winning shot against Golden State. So, look, I've seen Kyrie at his best on the highest stage possible. So that's more than I can say for anyone else participating in this final series. So if Dallas wins this series, it wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, Luka's a great player, and, when I've seen Luka play over the last 3 or 4 years, I've said to myself, I can see Luka winning an NBA championship one day. But I've also said the same thing about Jason Tatum. I feel that both Luka and Jason Tatum, before they retire, will be best players for championship teams. So I think no matter who wins this finals, I still think Jason Tatum will be an NBA champion one day. And I also believe that Luka Doncic will be an NBA champion one day.
It's just a matter of when.
It's just a matter of when.
More basketball, but the WNBA, the Dream and the Liberty are facing off tonight on the Peachtree Sports Network.
Yeah.
The Liberty have been on a roll.
Liberty is that's going to be a tough matchup for the Dream tonight. I mean, Liberty 8-2. They're playing as good a ball as anybody. I mean, their stars, Breonna Turner, Sabrina Ionescu. Hopefully, I can pronounce her name correctly. They've been on the road. They've been playing as good a ball as anybody. So, look, if the Liberty get this win tonight, that will be a really good win for them because that means they will have beaten a very good team, one of the upper echelon teams in the WNBA. And but look, the Liberty also beat Las Vegas last week too. So I mean, you know, it's not
the Dream can definitely pull it out.
Yeah, the Dream can definitely pull it out. It's not beyond the realm that they can't pull it out. So we just have to see what happens. They're on Peachtree TV, Peachtree Sports Network. So that'll be another one of the games that you can catch there. So look, the Dream have played well. They're also 4-3. They're playing some really good ball. So if they win this game, wouldn't surprise me at all. Want to talk about some football?
Football.
Let's get into football. So yesterday I was out at Falcons camp, and they make the coaches available and everything like that. We talked a lot about the offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators, but one of the interesting parts here is those position players and position coaches, right? I mean, wide receivers coach Ike Hilliard joined the staff, and Jerry Gray has been with the staff out there. So those position groups have been really interesting and how things are going to shake down with the Falcons as we get into training camp. I talked to wide receivers coach Ike Hilliard and defensive backs, Jerry Gray, who's he's like the assistant head coach, but he also kind of presides over the defensive backs and everything like that. Just kind of talk to them a little bit about what OTAs have been like and how they feel those positions progress headed into the season and kind of what they think headed into 2024. Let's check it out.
We had to rebuild the room. Obviously, when we got the job here, Drake was the only receiver under contract, so we wanted to add more speed. We got that accomplished. We have some young guys that have to be raised a little bit. You know, the years of service, per se, is relatively minute, but we have some kids with some versatility, playmaking ability, and, we put the room together in a way to kind of bring some diverse bodies in there in order to be able to play multiple positions and hopefully stretch the field and get some big-time playmaking in. And we're kind of happy with where we are right now. And they've done a great job up until this point. We'll reassess in mandatory minicamp next week, and then we'll take a break and, we'll do it again come training camp.
what are some of the things just like coming in when you kind of set your agenda during OTAs and you wanted to accomplish? And I guess just looking back, what are some of the things you were able to accomplish, and what are some of the things that you hope to accomplish in the coming days?
Well, we have the luxury of having a veteran quarterback, and that's a huge asset. So with guys that, play that position that have pretty much seen every defense created the man, our job is to make sure we be on the details. It's the biggest, it's the biggest coaching point, biggest, mandate per se. When it comes to our room, we have to know where to be, when to be there. Spacing has to be right. And obviously we have to make the plays. Kirk is going to get the ball where it's supposed to go. So with a lot of young players that hadn't played a lot of football outside of Mooney and Drake, that there's a learning curve and a process that needs to accelerate. So the detail has been there primarily, along with a few growing pains, but we're happy with where everyone is to a man and with the group. I think coming into training camp, after finishing minicamp, the idea is to be in the best shape of your life. We're going to put pressure on defenses. We're going to have multiple sets. We're going to motion, we're going to shift. So being in prime condition is going to be key. And those same coaching points, really the primary coaching point is, be on top of the details for a quarterback, to get the ball where it's supposed to be, and then obviously have that playmaking in your bag so, we can have success.
What do you think about your group? Like you say, you guys, the room needed some work. You brought some guys in.
Mm-hmm.
You look at speed and everything like that. So just now kind of how you guys are kind of put things together, getting Mooney in.
Mm-hmm.
Does it look a lot more like you thought it would look like when you came in?
We're very pleased. Yeah, we're very pleased. I don't think we feel that we're limited into what we can accomplish as an offense with what we have. I said earlier in the offseason, we're expecting more from Drake London. He's accepted the challenge. He's played really, really well. Mooney is as advertised, and he's going to help this offensive team tremendously. Being one of the more veteran players, in our room, that's played some football, has success, personally. His playmaking, his edge, his preparation, his route running, his playmaking, they're going to be huge for the growth of everybody, including himself, playing with a veteran quarterback like Kirk. Ray and Rondell bring separation skills, speed. I like to say being able to create your own shot in one-on-ones. We're looking for somebody to create space and get the ball in space and, take the short gain and make it a long gain or a touchdown. There's some other guys that have grown up, Chris Blair. And, I can go on and on to a man, but I'll be running, for a while. But we like where we are. And as long as we continue to ascend, and it's tougher with a younger group because you're, with the human element in this thing, you're going to have some tough times and tough plays. Hopefully you don't stack bad days, individually and collectively. But, after giving a dissertation of sorts, I think we're really happy about where we are, what we have, and what we can possibly do going forward.
So you talked about it even a little bit when you talked about having a veteran quarterback like Kirk. How much does that help? Consider that your group is so young, and he's the guy 35 years old, been there, done it.
Right. Quarterbacks don't fall off of trees, man. There are only a few in the upper echelon, and he's one of them. Trust me, we're excited to have him. We're lucky to have him. Being able to have a conversation with each and every guy in the room that I coach and give them specific detail to a route or a concept based on the coverage or what he prefers to see or what he likes or what he's seen from his experience with other players that have similar body, movements and types. That communication is invaluable. You can't, you can't create that other than any other way than having a guy that's played for a long time. So, he's obviously going to continue to help this room grow, and it's our job on the back end to make sure we take care of our part for him.
My last question is kind of a general question. Obviously, you've played the position yourself for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Since you started playing the position, we've seen those salaries grow tremendously at the wide receiver position.
Yes.
A lot of guys like Justin Jefferson making money this offseason. Number one, Is that something that you saw the position going into? Because some of these guys are paid almost like quarterbacks now. And number two, how do you manage that too? Obviously, being a coach, you got guys who want to put up big numbers. Right. That probably brings egos into it. So I guess with those things, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's why we're pros, man. You know, there's only one football. Everybody understands that. You know, we have a guy that touches the ball every play. That's a veteran quarterback that, you know, that's accomplished a lot in this league. He's led the league in completion percentage, and, you know, he has tons of numbers. So having that luxury will quell a lot of situations per se. Of course, there are egos that come into it. There's money that's involved, but we're all on the same train. We have an ultimate goal. That's to obviously win our division, get to the playoffs, and make a run for the big trophy. For me personally, it helps. It's not a requirement for my position, but the fact that I can give them an in-homer perspective, having played the game, it helps them understand the bigger picture as well. And then you lean on your players. You know, we have a good group, a great mix of individual talent, you know, collective talent, and just good people on and off the field. And when you have the attendance that we've had in the offseason where everyone's here, and we're not looking for anyone, and everybody wants to be a part of it. It's a great feel. We're all working towards that common goal. That can also put some of those fires out. So we're less concerned about that, I think, because, you know, when you have a good makeup about your team and your talented players, your most talented players are here and leading by example, you know, once we get to game day, the human element of wins and losses will be what they are, but, you know, having that type of leadership within a locker room, and then obviously with our head coach and general manager, with who they are and their vision for this thing, we're going to be more than fine. As far as the salaries are concerned, you know, TV money gets greater every year, you know, and you value guys that put the ball in the end zone, you know, so we're all happy for Justin Jefferson, you know, and other guys that are getting paid and will be paid, and we hope that continues for everybody, every position. It just makes the whole situation greater, you know, for everyone involved.
Well, you know, the big thing is we've seen some growth in some younger guys, you know. Everyone knows AJ, everyone knows Jesse. You see a lot more competition between DeMarco and Richie, which is really, really good for us because, you know, when they compete, we get better. We've seen Clark Phillips, who's doing a really, really good job. He and Mike and Brooks, they're doing a great job. And then we also brought in another young kid that we labeled AJ2 since we got AJ1. And he's doing a great job. So to me, I think that's only going to make us better. You know, we also brought in Hamilton from Arizona, and he's going to make us better. So we got a lot of wisdom in the room, but we also got a lot of guys who are out on the football field competing. And once we get a chance to put the film together, that's what's going to tell us what we're going to have.
When you think about a lot of really good names, a lot of established players who use named there, obviously with AJ getting him back to the group now, and you know, obviously with what the secondary is with Jesse and everything like that. I mean, I'm thinking this is probably one of the best units on the football team.
Well, I mean, to me, I think, you know, we may have that on paper, but the biggest thing that we try to tell our guys to do is go out there and prove it every day. You know, you can't live by what you did last year because people are going to be getting ready to take shots at you once the season starts. But the biggest thing that we got to do is go out on the practice field and prove that we can get to where we were last year and even better.
So, Coach, how do you, it's always a talk, especially in this league nowadays, of being able to generate more turnovers, make more big plays, more explosive defensive plays happen. How do you think you go about that?
Well, I mean, to me, I think when you're in the NFL, there's a lot of ways that it can happen. Number one, you can get more eyes to the ball. You know, like I was around Dick LeBeau when I was in Buffalo. Had never been around him. He said, Jerry, just think about this. If you call man to man, there's one guy's on the ball. Everybody's got their back turned. When you're a fire zone or a zone, there's 7 set of eyes on the guy, so everybody can actually see the quarterback throw and you can break. So that makes sense. You can also have a Baltimore Ravens type of great pass rush, and that's going to create more turnovers because he's either going to get sacked or you're going to get fumbled, or the ball going to come out when it's not supposed to. So, you know, there's a lot of ways you can do stuff like that. And to me, on defense, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get it to where we can get the more turnovers, stuff like that, to where we get our hands on the ball. And like last year, we had a lot more man-to-man stuff. This year, you know, our defense is going to be multiple, so it's going to be giving us a chance to actually see the ball come off the quarterback hands, and that way.
All right, so we got the Gwinnett Stripers They're going to have some games coming up on Peachtree Sports Network, Peachtree TV. So that's really exciting, obviously, for us here at Peachtree TV and Peachtree Sports Network. Let's go out there and talk to them a little bit about kind of how they got things going on right now, because it's an exciting time for all of us.
All right. So for starters, first time the Stripers will be on TV since 2014. What's the excitement level with the organization?
It's been huge. I mean, it's been a decade since we've been on TV. So we're really excited to be able to expose more people to Stripers baseball and get them out here.
And what does it mean to the organization just to get that more viewership from the fans, and the fans have more access to you guys as well?
It's huge. I mean, we're up here in Gwinnett County, which we're not far from the Braves, but now, you know, all of Atlanta, all of Georgia has access to see Stripers baseball, and that's something we couldn't provide before.
How did this partnership come to be?
I think it was two really great brands in this area talking and saying, how can we bring more access to this sports, and working with Peachtree Sports Network has been so easy to be able to map this out and make sure that all the best games from the Stripers are going to be available for viewing on TV as well.
From the organization, what can fans expect in these broadcasts?
A really well-polished broadcast, but also the ability to see the future stars of the Atlanta Braves up close and personal before they ever make it to Truist Park.
You can see players, whether it's Bryce Elder before he gets called up and whatnot. That's a lot of excitement.
It is, and it's a lot of excitement about watching a player grow, and you get to watch, you know, a little bit of the struggle sometimes before they get to the major leagues, but watch them make those adjustments and then eventually succeed and make the Braves roster. I think it's really gratifying.
It always showcases the ballpark as well. Yes, they can see it on TV, but for the fans who ultimately want to get out here too, what can they expect when they come for a visit?
It's a unique experience because everything is close. You get to park close, you get to sit close, you get to see the stars of the Braves close, and this will help bring that close experience to TV, but also if you come out to the ballpark, you're going to get the same kind of angles and analysis of the players that you would on TV.
Like, what's an advantage of them coming to the field, getting to see this beautiful facility? I mean, this has got to be one of the better looking ballparks in AAA for sure.
Yeah. It is, aside from just how close you can be to the players and how easy the experience is, I mean, our lowest ticket is $9. It's easy to bring your family. We've got a great kid zone. It's safe. We have a lot of great food options. I know I'm a foodie, and that's important to me. And just really good entertainment value too. There's something happening every inning break where big mascots are running and dizzy bat contests. So it's a lot of family fun. Oh, I talked a lot about the seeing the future stars of the Braves, but we also get the rehabs as well. So we had Sean Murphy, the catcher with the Braves. You know, Bryce Elder's kind of been up and down, but you have the ability to see those guys, those major league guys here too, not just when they're coming up in their career, but when they're, you know, recovering from an injury or something. Yeah, there's something.
All right, Ellie. Like I said, the Gwinnett Stripers be on Peachtree Sports Network, Peachtree TV. They have a bunch of games coming up this summer, so it's great for everyone involved to get their exposure, and I'm sure those players are delighted to be playing on TV. So before we get out of here, Ellie, I'm going to ask you one question. What's on your mind?
Did you know that there's the Cricket World Cup in the United States right now?
You know, I just saw that before we started. I saw they had an upset, right?
They beat Pakistan.
That's dope.
I didn't even know it was going on until like a week before it was a thing.
I'm with you. I didn't even know it existed. I'm sorry. I didn't.
So this feeding one of the best teams in the world.
That's pretty dope.
A nation that the lead bowler, the lead hitter.
Yeah.
He's like some principal engineer for Oracle.
Whoa, wait, I'll tell you what.
This isn't even like the Miracle on Ice. This is a men's beer league beating the Soviets.
Well, I tell you what, hey, I guess that's our version. I guess that's what we'll have to compare it to, right? That's pretty dope. Look, I don't even have anything that can match that as far as what's on my mind. I don't even have anything that can match it. So I'll tell you what, that's been Sports Tonight here for a Thursday. Ellie, it's always great to do the show with you. I appreciate you. And we'll be back at it tomorrow with more Sports Tonight as we head into the weekend. See ya.